Hello and welcome. You're watching Rajya Sabha News. I'm Tina Jha. Let's begin with the headlines. Monsoon session of Parliament gets underway. Rajya Sabha mourns the passing away of sitting members Raghunath Mohapatra and Rajiv Satav. Also pays respects to 10 departed members, athletics icon Milkha Singh and Bollywood legend Dilip Kumar. Prime Minister Narendra Modi introduces new ministers of his expanded cabinet in the upper house. Opposition parties interrupt the proceedings with protests over several issues. And Chairman Naidu urges members to make effective use of the monsoon session to help tackle the third wave of the pandemic. Exhorts parliamentarians to comply with COVID norms and lead by example. On the first day of the monsoon session of Parliament, Prime Minister Narendra Modi introduced in the upper house the new ministers of his recently expanded cabinet. As the opposition members interrupted him with protests, the Prime Minister retorted that the inclusion of Dalits, women, other backward classes of the country in his Council of Ministers had not gone down well with many in the opposition. Chairman Naidu also urged the members to respect the tradition of the House, but seeing no let-up in the protests, the Prime Minister asked the chairman to treat the ministers as introduced.
इस सदन में महिलाएं जो मंत्री बनी हैं, उनका परिचय हो रहा है। वो कौन सी महिला विरोधी मानसिकता है कि जिसके कारण इस सदन में उनका नाम भी सुनने को तैयार नहीं है। बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब के हमारे सांसद साथी मंत्री बने हैं। हमारे आदिवासियों के प्रति ऐसी कौन सी इनके प्रति रोष की भावना है कि वे आदिवासी मंत्रियों का परिचय इस सम्मानीय सदन में हो, ये भी उनको पसंद नहीं आ रहा है। इस सदन में बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में दलित मंत्रियों का परिचय हो रहा है। दलित समाज के इन प्रतिनिधियों का नाम सुनने को ये तैयार नहीं है। ये कौन सी मानसिकता है?
My colleague Kriti Mishra sends us more details from Parliament on that story.
Well, it is a customary practice for the Prime Minister to introduce his Council of Ministers after the new government takes over or even after the cabinet reshuffle. Now, Prime Minister has inducted 36 new ministers into his government in the biggest cabinet reshuffle since he came to power in 2014. PM Modi also hit back at the opposition today, alleging that some of them could not digest the inclusion of women, of Dalits and also of sons of farmers into the cabinet and hence disrupted him. Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu also condemned the opposition's protest even during the introduction of the ministers. But the list was laid on the table of the House. There was another significant development in the House. That was when Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu informed the members about the new leader of the Rajya Sabha. So, Union Minister and senior BJP leader Piyush Goyal is the new leader of the House in the upper house, filling the vacancy that was left by Thawar Chand Gehlot, who is now the governor of the state of Karnataka. Piyush Goyal, he is a Rajya Sabha member from Maharashtra. He's also in charge of several key ministries, including the ministries of Commerce and Industry, Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, and also Textiles. He was also the deputy leader of the Rajya Sabha when Thawar Chand Gehlot was the leader of the House. Well, the leader of the House is an important parliamentary functionary who exercises direct influence on the course of parliamentary business or developments in the upper house. Meanwhile, Union Minorities Affairs Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi, he has been named as the new deputy leader of the House in the Rajya Sabha. Naqvi succeeds Piyush Goyal, who has been appointed as the leader of the House, as we were telling our viewers. And also the upper house saw discussion on Marine Aids to Navigation Bill 2021, which is proposed to replace the Lighthouse Act. But as the protests by the opposition continued, the Deputy Chairman, Harivansh, adjourned the House till Tuesday.
So moving to the legislative business in the upper house, newly inducted Minister Sarbanand Sonowal moved the Marine Aids to Navigation Bill 2020 for consideration and passing, as my colleague was pointing out. Aids to navigation include visible and audible marks and devices that act as street signs on water. These include beacons, lights, light ships, and also fog signals. The bill provides for development, maintenance, and management of these aids to navigation. It also sets down training and certification requirements for agencies operating them. Besides, it also ensures compliance with international maritime treaties to which India is a party.
This bill aims to regulate state-of-the-art technologies in marine navigation, sir. Sir, this Marine Aids Navigation Bill seeks to provide fresh framework as to establish and manage the vessel traffic services. This bill seeks to use the term Marine Aids to Navigation instead of lighthouse in order to enable us to use of modern forms of aids in the navigation.
I would request the Honorable Minister, sir, to visit Tamil Nadu, visit the lighthouses and kindly see that up-to-date facilities are given to the lighthouses in Tamil Nadu, sir.
Visakhapatnam port is the only major port situated in the state of Andhra Pradesh. There are also privately owned ports in the state of Andhra Pradesh. There are also other ports in the state of Andhra Pradesh which comes under administrative control of the State Maritime Board. Section 2(1) subsection 2 states port means any port defined under the Indian Ports Act, and the government intends to replace 1921 Act, the instant one. Why it is not showing the same interest in the Act enacted more around 17 years before the Lighthouse Act 1927.
And earlier in the day, Indian Union Muslim League's Abdul Wahab took oath as a member of the upper house on Monday. He represents Kerala in the Rajya Sabha, and this will be his third term in the upper house. He was first elected in the year 2004 and then for the second time in 2015.
I, Abdul Wahab, having been elected a member of the Council of States, do swear in the name of God that I'll bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge the duty upon which I am about to enter.
The upper house mourned the death of two sitting members, Raghunath Mahapatra and Rajiv Satav. It also paid respects to 10 former members who passed away in the intervening period between the last and the current session. The House also remembered the legendary track and field sprinter Milkha Singh and also Bollywood legend Dilip Kumar, who passed away recently.
We deeply mourn the passing of Dr. Raghunath Patra, Sri Rajiv Satav, Professor N.M. Kamble, Sri Bhagavat Singh, Sri Bilhari Babu, Sri Ajay Singh, Sri Matanhan, Sri Jitendra Bhai Bhatt, Dr. Ramendra Kumar Yadav, Ravi, Sri Jagannath Prasad Pahadia, Srimati Shanti Pahadia, Sri Dilip Kumar, Sri Milkha Singh. I request the members to raise in their place and observe silence as a mark of respect in the memory of the departed.
Expressing concern over the COVID-19 pandemic situation, Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu urged the parliamentarians to make effective use of the monsoon session in helping to tackle a possible third wave. In his opening remarks, the chairman hoped that the session will offer an opportunity for Parliament to resonate with the pain, aspirations and expectations of the people in their hour of need. He told the House that 224 or 97% members have been vaccinated against the disease, and the chairman also urged the members to comply with COVID behavioral norms and lead by example.
The need of the hour is to learn from the experience of the first and second waves as to better equipped for the possible fresh bouts of the pandemic that are being talked about. Ultimately, we shall collectively overcome the challenge of the invisible coronavirus that has exposed the limits of modernity and our ways of living and attitudes as well. Our one chief lesson to be drawn is that we need to live in harmony with the society and with the environment. I am happy to inform you that 224 members of Rajya Sabha accounting for 97% of the total have taken vaccination, including 207 who have taken both the doses and 17 who took the first jab. Others are still to be vaccinated for medical reasons. I still appeal to all of you to adhere to the norms of COVID appropriate behavior and lead by example.
The chairman also informed the House that the committees under Rajya Sabha have reported the best performance so far during the inter-session period. He said 7 committees of Rajya Sabha have held 20 meetings over 50 hours and 38 minutes. The average meeting duration of 2 hours, 32 minutes is the best so far. He complimented the chairman and also members of these committees for their efforts in improving the functioning of the committees.
Members of the committees for their efforts during the inter-session period. The Committee on Commerce held maximum 6 sittings, they having met for the longest duration of 15 hours and 51 minutes, accounting for 31% of the total duration of sittings. The Committee on Education, Women, Child and Youth and Sports held 3 meetings for a total education of 11 hours and 16 minutes, accounting to 21%. In terms of average duration, each meeting the Committee on Education, Women, Child, Youth and Sports has topped the choking 3 hours 45 minutes. This is followed by the Committee on Home Affairs, 48 minutes, Committee on Commerce to 38 minutes, Committee on Science, Technology and Environment, Forest and Climate Change to 2 hours 30 minutes. The terms of average attendance for each meeting, the Committee on Education topped with 60.2%, followed by the Committee on Transport, Tourism and Culture with 54.83%.
And that's it from us in this bulletin. Thank you for your time.